はい、それでは本日はですね、最有形のウェビナーにお越しいただきましてありがとうございます。本日のウェビナーはですね、春大学ビジネススクールについてということで、担当官のクレア先生にお越しいただいておりまして、春大学のビジネススクールについてのお話をしていただく予定でございます。で、春大学ですね、のビジネススクールの持つ将来の成功に向けた知識、スキル、実務経験を確実に身につけるための本格的なビジネス学習の精神についてご説明させていただくという内容のものでございます。また本日ですね、日本人の在校生の方にもご参加いただいておりますので、実際の春大学での生活などについてもご質問いただけますので、もしご質問がありましたらお知らせいただけたらと思います。また本日のウェビナーについては YouTube での同時配信となっておりますので、発言などができない設定となっております。もしご質問等ある場合は、チャットボックスの方からですね、ご質問を投稿していただきましたら、プレゼンテーションの終わりに私の方で質問を読み上げさせていただきますので、それに春大学の担当者の方がお答えいただくという形で進めていきたいと思います。お時間は7時までということで、1時間の予定になっております。はい。それではですね、早速ではあるんですけれども、春大学ビジネススクールについてプレゼンテーションを開始していただきたいと思います。はい。So, Claire, could you please start your presentation?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Lovely to speak to you today and to share with you my lovely university. So I'm going to talk to you today about the University of Hull. More importantly, because I am quite biased, the Hull University Business School, which is where I work. So I'm just going to take you through a few slides just to give you a flavour of the city, where we are in the UK, a little bit about the university itself and about the business school and some of the courses that we are offering. At the moment, 22 entry is full, so we're looking at 2023 entry. So hopefully, if you are inspired by this presentation, then we can welcome you in 2023. So let me just go through and explain who I am. So my name is Claire Carr. I'm the recruitment director for the business management degree. And I'm also delighted to be the academic lead for the small to medium sized business clinic, which is a really great opportunity for students from the second year of their undergraduate degree right through until the end of their masters to work with local communities face to face and businesses that need support, as well as online business clinics where we can maybe work with companies in different countries. So it may be that when you come, you've got a small business that you wish to get support with. We can certainly help with that. My specialism is organizational behavior. So that is HR, human resources. I'm particularly interested in looking at developing professional skills and looking at early career talent management. And that's what my PhD is in. I'm looking at improving early career talent management, particularly in the public sector. So that's my specialism, my research area. In terms of what I'd like to do today is I'd like to introduce, I would say very biasedly, one of the friendliest universities in the UK. It's a really fascinating place. We were awarded City of Culture a few years ago. It's vibrant, lots of creative things happening, lots of music scene, all that kind of stuff. And it's also really affordable. It's one of the cheapest places to be a student in the UK. And it's based in a very good proximity to lots of other really interesting cities that you can go and visit when you're not studying. I'm going to talk to you about the university, and I'm going to focus on the business programs that we offer, particularly undergraduate business management and also postgraduate business management, our MSc program. I'm going to explain to you the ethos of how our university business school actually runs through a concept that we've created called authentic business learning. And this is to demonstrate really that although you're doing an academic degree, every single thing that you're studying has practical application and will help you get a job, whether or not it is in Japan or anywhere else around the world. You'll have transferable skills that will enable you to be getting those high caliber, sought after roles. I'm also delighted to be joined by one of our student ambassadors, Kaneko, who is studying artificial intelligence and data analytics and all sorts of exciting things. But she's going to talk to you about what it's like to be a Japanese student studying in our university and tell you how wonderful we all are. So I'm looking forward to introducing you after my presentation. She'll be doing her own presentation. And then after that, we're going to have a question and answer session, which our host will be kindly coordinating for us. So where are we? I would say right in the middle of the UK. So we are an hour from York, which is one of the most historical cities in the UK. It's the capital of Yorkshire. I was born in York, gorgeous place. So it's got Minster, it's got the city walls. It's very, very historic and has been invaded by quite a lot of historical civilizations, including the Romans, the Vikings. So it's got a really, really rich history and it's a gorgeous place to be. It's near Leeds as well, which is another really, really vibrant city, about the same size as Hull. I think Leeds is probably a little bit bigger. Hull's sort of a medium-sized city, so it is nice to get your way around. It's got beautiful docks, all that stuff I'll talk to you about in a minute. Manchester, again, a massive city. Something important, I suppose, to mention about Leeds and Manchester is they both got airports. So that might be the entrance of which you would be coming into to the Manchester airport or to Leeds Bradford. London is a very, very quick train ride away. It's 2.5 hours. And there are 8 trains a day. You can go and visit the capital of England. And I'm sure you'll have seen photographs of how incredible it is. Hull is surrounded by quite a lot of nature and small villages and small market towns. So it's a really beautiful place to visit outside of the city, which you can get easily by public transport. So there's lots and lots of going on and things for you to do. So it's been talked about a lot as being one of the most important destinations to go to in the UK, mainly because there's so much to do and the affordability of it. There's shopping, cinema, bowling, lots of history, particularly around maritime. There's galleries, there's the Old Town, which is absolutely stunning. There's such a rich history in terms of the Humber, which is I learned this the other day, the third hardest place to park your boat in because it's got so many people coming in and out of the area. But that's absolutely stunning. You can go and do history tours around there and understand why all the buildings are built in the way that they are. It's very close to the campus. It's a short bus away, and actually within the university, around the university immediately, you've got some of the best restaurants and cafes around. So there's lots to do in your time off. Some fantastic coffee bars, which you can attend and meet your friends and be able to walk into campus. And that's actually where, once you've studied in the first year in our accommodation, you can live really close to the university. A lot of the houses around the university are affordable and are student friendly. So that might be something you'd want to look at. So it's one of the oldest universities, is Hull University. It's 90 years old. It's a red brick university. And there's approximately 15,000 students. 2,000 of those are international. And it's such an interesting place to work. One of the things that's not mentioned here is we have also a massively wide origin of our academics and our staff. We've got people from all over the world that have chosen to work in the University of Hull. So it's a really cosmopolitan place to be. We're spending £300 million on our campuses and our facilities. So we've got up-to-date facilities to show you and introduce you to, particularly within the business school. We've just made some a really useful executive suite. We've got a business lounge in there. I'll talk to you more about that later on. Something that you may have heard of is the Allen Medical Building. This is one of the most beautiful buildings that has been built in recent years, and it was also visited by the Queen, but I'll show you that in a moment. It's a fantastic facility and it has good relations with York, and some of the most cutting-edge medicine is done right on campus, so you can learn and see that as you're going round. What you'll find is, although you're based in the business school, you'll have the luxury of going around the different schools, maybe for some of your lectures, so you can see the sort of the village-like campus that we have, and so that you can enjoy that. And as I promised, here is a picture of our Queen. So she visited the University of Hull in 2017. One of the gentlemen who is with us today, Callum, you'll be able to see in the top right-hand corner, looking very dapper in his cream suit and black tie. In terms of thinking about numbers and statistics, in terms of rankings, we're 53rd in the UK, we're 52nd in the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. We've moved up to the top 54 in the UK in 2020, and over a dozen subjects in the UK, in the university are ranked in the top 10 nationally for overall student satisfaction. 97.9% of our international students go into work or further study within 6 months of graduating. Now, this is really, really important, because what we do know is that the industry average, the national average, is only 90%. So we're significantly better at getting people into jobs, and particularly within the business school. We've also got really high student satisfaction levels. So that's the university. Let's get on to the most important bit. Let's get on to the Hull University Business School. Let me show off how gorgeous my business school is. I say mine, our business school. So one of the things that we have is, other than being accredited with global ranking measure matrices, we also are aligned to a lot of the chartered institutes, and you can see a couple of these on the screen. So you've got the Chartered Institute for Marketing, for Human Resources, for Logistics, for Accounting, for many more. You can see those all on the screen. This sort of demonstrates really how practical our qualifications are, that not only do you get your degree, but you also get an affiliation with one of these chartered institutions, which demonstrates that you're professional in terms of what it is that you are studying, and that you are ready to go into the marketplace. And that looks really, really good on your CV. So let's just have a look at what you can study. We've got a wide variety of choice here. And one of the things I just want to mention for a second is that all these programs here on the left-hand side under business management all start off with the first year exactly the same. And in that first year, what we do is we assess all the students that have come onto the program. We introduce them to the best, most passionate lecturers we have, who will sell you which program you would like to be on. So we're all saying, come over to what we study, come over to what we study. So you get a really great opportunity. Whichever of these you choose on the left-hand side, you can change your program up until the start of the second year. So it might be that you decide to come in and you're really, really sure that you want to do marketing. And actually, when you arrive, you think, well, no, I think now I understand, marketing, and it is really important, but I'm preferring human resources. Then you can change on to do that. So that's a really nice speciality, I suppose, unique selling point that we have here, that you have that flexibility of changing. It doesn't matter which of these programs you are on, you still get options in different programs you would like to choose. Although if you are taking an and or a with, there will be some core modules that you need to take to get that charter in that particular qualification. So there'll be less choice if you like, but the choices that are mandatory will be the ones that you want to do because you're on that program. We also do accounting and finance and economics, and you can see there's lots of different variations of that. And also we do marketing itself. Now, we do have marketeers that come onto some of these programs, but ultimately what you'll find is these programs tend to be fairly insular in terms of working with each other, although you'll meet lots of people. On the business management program, there's so much variety that you will meet a lot of people across the business school. Whichever degree you're in, you will really find the sense of the business school being really friendly, community-driven place. So hopefully that's something that attracts you. It certainly attracted me to work there. I arrived working 7 years ago to help out on a module, and I've stayed ever since. And I'm finishing my PhD with the University of Hull too. So I've brought my study across to demonstrate, how important I see this university being in terms of where I see my career. I think that demonstrates the best-selling point, isn't it? Is that I've come here as a member of staff first, and then I've joined as a student after. So let's just have a look at some of the things that maybe we haven't mentioned. And this is sort of really where I want to talk to you about authentic business learning. So authentic business learning means a lot of different things, but for us what it means is that any assessment that you do, any kind of research that you do, any output you do, whether or not you do it in seminars or whether you do it in assessments that get submitted and marked, they're all to help you become professional business people. And particularly if you're going to be looking at those master's programs, they're going to allow you to really consider yourself as a global leader. And we do that by getting real businesses into the degrees. So for example, we had Team GB come in and ask the business studies students to help them to do a social media feed. We've got lots of organizations locally that come in and support that growth. We had Atom Brewery, which is a local beer company that came in and asked the students to design a non-alcoholic beer, which you can drink now in the Students' Union. So all that stuff's happening. There's placements I'm going to talk to you about, study abroad options, and also the small business clinic, or the small medium-sized business clinic, but small business clinic for short. In terms of employability, we are looking at 95%, which is really, really high. So we are creating some really, really well-prepared students. And this is obviously reflectant in the statistic I gave you earlier about how many go into full-time jobs or further study at the end. So let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail after I've talked to you about the master's program. So as I said again, we are full for 2002. So I'm talking here about 2023. We have the MSc Business Management and an internship that's built in. We also have accountancy and finance, financial management, logistics and supply, advertising and marketing management. Now, if I just talk to you a little bit about MSc Business Management, this year we had a great number of students which are having a wonderful time. They are really, really interested in gaining experiences while they're here, and they're taking on every option really to broaden their portfolio and gain international business experience from either looking at local companies or working in the UK while they're studying. And I'm delighted to say that nearly 70% of the students that are consultants on my small business clinic are from that program. So it just demonstrates to you the extracurricular stuff that you can do that's really going to make a difference to your study. In terms of the content of that module, and I'm going to talk to you a lot about this one because it's my favourite, but there are others, and this is just a taster. I don't want to keep you here all evening because I understand it's quite late. But People management is something that is really important that we look at. So actually, not the idea of you managing resources, but how you manage people, how you lead people. I think it's really important. And particularly if you're looking at the changes that have happened over COVID and, things in the past, the way in which we lead and we manage has changed significantly. And this is really cutting edge research that's out there looking at how you manage that, whether or not it's through speaking to people or people analytics. It's all going to be combined in that program. You've got international business context. So again, that's going to let you look at the broader picture, the macro environment, looking at international business and challenge the assumptions that you have about how business operates and runs to give you more of a global concept of what's happening. You've got marketing management in action. That's a very, very practical module, and also something that is incredibly important if you're going to be going into leadership, and that's looking at business strategy. And it's particularly important now because we are in an ever-evolving business environment. More than ever before are the changes that are happening, and it is so important to be able to understand how you can strategize in a very complex environment. So a really, really useful module there. Sustainable logistics and operational management doesn't just mean making sure that your company thrives, but also that those resources are going to be available. So there'll also be that discussion about corporate social responsibility and how organizations and countries can work together to ensure that there's a sustainable supply of goods. Finally, a very long title, but very, very interesting nonetheless. It's interactive, integrated marketing communications and digital marketing. Now, I have a secret for you. I studied MA in marketing, and one of the things that I never learned, and it wasn't that long ago, was digital marketing. So you've got a real unique opportunity to get some really, really important skills. Organizations are now saying globally that they do not have the digital capability or capacity to do what they want to do. So any digitalization skills that you can demonstrate is again going to help you get into those jobs and get into those leadership roles. So in terms of how we help you to get ready for being a future business leader, you can do internships or placements. You can do part-time work around your study, which I've already talked about. We have a phenomenal careers advice support community in the business school, which will be able to help you. And also not just in terms of thinking about what you want to do in the future, but also very practical skills like applications, CV support, things like that to get you ready for putting across your best assets, the things that are going to get you those jobs, how you tailor to specific markets, to the kind of caliber of the job that you're trying to apply for. But on top of that, and I do keep saying this, but this is really the most important thing in the business school, is this idea of authentic business learning. So this is an example. Here are my wonderful students that you can see on this screen with the lovely Fanny Young here and Peter Andrews, who are both from marketing. You can see here that there are many business competitions that are offered to you. You get involved with real organizations. So this is just an example of that, of one that happened a year ago. You get to work not only with SMEs, so small to medium-sized enterprises, but also senior executives of large organizations. This project itself gives you a problem that a business faces. So this could be Team GB, for example, and then you work in a small team to provide a solution to that problem, and then you present it back to senior executives, and then they will demonstrate, as you see here, which team had the most transferable or the most useful solution. This is brilliant for your CV, and it also builds up your experiences and makes you stand out to other people that have similar qualifications to you. If you'd like to read more about that, there's a QR code on the screen. So do feel free to listen back or to take a photograph now, not of me, of the code. So I'm going to show off now. This is mine. This is something that have been set up. So we set it up last year. It's in full flow now. What we decided is the local area had 17% less productivity than the rest of the country. And this is due to the fact that in Hull, there's predominantly lots of small to medium-sized enterprises. And as a major stakeholder in Hull, we decided that we should be really doing something to help support that. So small, medium-sized enterprises can come into the business school, can tell us an issue that they've got, and then I will pair them up with a consultancy team, and we will work together to try and produce some of those outcomes. Typically, that's about 6 weeks, and it's extracurricular. And the only expectation is that we ask you to give us 5 working days to help support that per person in your team. We've also got entrepreneurs in residence who are entrepreneurs within their own right, but who join the business school. So that will be great. They will come and help you. Simon, for example, has worked with us this semester and he's been absolutely amazing. He's really improved those final presentations on that last day. And you'll be learning some really, really practical consultancy skills. We do a training needs analysis with you before and after, just to really demonstrate how many skills you've been able to develop and how many practical examples you can give in terms of how those skills are useful for the world of work. If you'd like to have a look at that, again, there's a QR code on the screen. So in terms of, or on top of really the career support, the university and the whole business school particularly prides itself on getting students really, really ready for those jobs in the future. Employers come in and do practice interviews and tests. We can offer you one-to-one advice. You can set up a business in our enterprise hub. There is a lot of job opportunities online that include part-time work, placement experiences and internships. You can apply to get an extra certificate, which is the Hull Employability Award, which again looks really, really good on your CV, where you apply evidence that you've got so that we can say that you have done everything that you can do to be as employable as possible. And what's really good is we're using our alumni, our very wonderful alumni, and further stakeholders to offer e-mentoring to students that work particularly in those industries or have a particular association to the kind of job that you would like to be doing. In terms of the kind of jobs that you can do in the future, this just gives you an idea of a variety of outcomes from doing your degree or your master's with us at the University of Hull. You can see that we've got marketing manager, product manager, stockbroker, lots and lots of different things. And I'm delighted to see that consultancy now is an option for those students who have done a master's program. We can now get you ready for the world of work. Right, well, that's me. What I would like to do is to welcome Kaniko to come and talk to you about how wonderful it is to be a student in Hull. I'm going to put my mic off so that I don't disturb you, but you tell me when you want me to move the slides and I'll be your glamorous assistant until you've finished. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. はい。では皆さんはじめまして、今、春大学の AI データサイエンスの修士コースで勉強しています、東邦子です。よろしくお願いします。本日は、Yes, thank you. Yeah. 本日は主に私が大学でどのように勉強しているのかだとか、キャンパス内での生活、休日はどのように過ごしているかなどをお伝えしたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。Next slide, please. まずは、勉強の流れです。 こちらの図がですね、大体私の1週間の勉強の流れっていうのを書いてみました。で、今、大学の方では、オンラインと現地で実際に実習したり、みんなで集まったりっていうハイブリッドな受講方式との2本立てになってます。で、まず楽器の初めに、その楽器で、実施する内容の、オンラインの講義がですね、1週間ごとに分けられて、でそちらが配信されます。で、このオンラインの講義は、その週の木曜日と金曜日に、ラボで行われるワークショップがあって、でその中の実習を行う内容っていうのが説明されています。で、まずそのオンラインの講義を見てですね、でその後、わからないことを調べたり、ちょっと聞きたい内容とかをまとめたりだとかですね、そういったことをしています。で、その後、実際に対面式のレクチャーだったり、実習として行うラボの方で、はい、ラボに行って、実習に取り組んだりしています。で、この中ではグループディスカッションだったり、小さな講義とかもあったりしてですね、こちらも先生が、生徒に質問したりとかですね、で、それに対して答えたりってしながらの講義もあります。で、さらには、私の場合は、AI とデータサイエンスなので、プログラミングもしたりですね、して、テーマに対する理解を深めたりします。で、このワークショップっていうのは全く堅苦しいものではなくてですね、学生同士で話したり、教え合ったりっていうのも結構あって、で、また教授との距離もすごい近い感じなので、ちょっと呼び止めて質問するっていうこともできたりしてます。で、私の場合はですね、このセッションを通して勉強友達もできたりして、なんかスタディグループっていう名前のグループがグループに入ってですね、一緒によく勉強したりもしてます。で、このワークショップが終わった後は、ちょっと自分で復習したりだとか、で、この、オンラインからこのラボでやった内容っていうのが課題の中に出てきたりもするので、また復習して勉強していきます。で、その後ですね、さらにオンラインによるフォローアップの、レクチャーなどもあるので、そこでさらにやった内容でわからなかったことっていうのは聞くことができます。で、課題もですね、毎週とかではなくて、学期の初めに、もうドーンとすべての会議が、課題がですね、こういう課題があるよっていうのが、アナウンスされるので、それをですね、コツコツ進めていく感じです。で、課題の提出っていうのは、学期の終わりに設定されているものが多いので、どうしても、期日が重なるっていうところで、計画的に進めていかなければという感じです。The next slide, please. で、次に、生活についてっていうところで、今私は大学の寮に住んでいます。で、こちらの写真が実際に私のお部屋とですね、寮の外の外観の写真となります。で、この私の住んでいるウエストフィールドコートっていうのはですね、とても新しくって、綺麗です。で、私、海外旅行は今までしたことがあったんですけど、海外で暮らすっていうのは初めてだったので、この寮のもうガスとか電気とか水道だとかインターネットとか必要なインフラがすべて揃っていて、すぐにもう入った時にはもう利用できる状態になっているっていうのが、もうとってもありがたかったです。で、また、ベッドや家電なんかもうついているので、そういったのももう準備する必要はなくてですね、ほぼほぼ身一つで行って住むことができたので、本当に良かったと思います。これ慣れてる方であれば大丈夫かと思うのですが、私みたいにちょっと初めてってなると多分、すべて全部揃えるってなると結構大変で時間かかっちゃったりとかで手続きもわかんないですし、スムーズにスタートできなかったんじゃないかなと思います。なので本当に良かったなと思います。で、また何か困ったことがあるとですね、24時間空いてる この寮の受付があります。なので、もし何か困ったことがあれば、この受付の方に言えば対応してもらえますし、郵便物とか宅配物とかも寮が受け取ってくれるので、ずっといて待ってないといけないとか、そういったのもないので、とっても便利です。で、またですね、この寮が学校の外とかじゃなくて、キャンパスの敷地内にあるので、イギリスでなんか怖い思いしたとか、そういったことは全くなくて、治安はいい方かなと思うんですけど、でもそれでもさらになんか、安全で安心だなっていう気がしています。で、あと、ラボやレクチャー、図書館なども近いですし、あと、比較的、安くて美味しい、学校の食堂とかも近いので、寮も、暮らしやすいと思います。Next slide, please. で、こちらの写真はキャンパスの一部の写真です。で、大学の構内はとっても緑が多くてですね、すごい綺麗だと思います。で、すごくモダンな校舎っていうのも中にはあるんですけど、こちら写真ちょっと私撮ってきたみたいなですね、もう私がイメージしていたイギリスの建物っていうような、イメージの校舎とかもあってですね、はい、とてもなんか、いい景色だなと思います。で、最近はだいぶ日差しも暖かくなってきたのと、ちょっと個人的になんですが、ウォーキングのアプリをインストールしたこともあって、よく友達で校舎内をウォーキングとかしてるんですけど、なんかこういった景色見てると、なんかまるで観光地みたいで、綺麗でいいなって思います。Next slide, please. で、最後にですね、週末や休暇についてです。マスターコース1年っていうと本当に忙しくはあるんですが、でもその間を縫ってですね、週末だったり、クリスマスのホリデーだったり、今ちょっとイースターのホリデーなんですが、いろんなところに出かけてみました。で、とても自然が豊かで、近くの公園とかでも、なんか特別有名な公園とかじゃなくても、湖とか池とかがあって、こういった左上の写真のように、白鳥だとか、いろんな鳥がいたりします。で、また、春聖堂と、あと、近くの町の林間の、大聖堂にも行ってきました。また、春ではとっても有名なディープっていう水族館にも行ってきて面白かったです。で、またですね、ヨークシャ内、同じヨークシャ内の、ハロゲートのリプレイ城っていうところにも行ったりと、週末とかも結構楽しんでます。で、春のシティセンターには、大きなショッピングモールとかもあってですね、大学からバスがいっぱい出ていて、で、だいたい10分から15分ぐらいで行くことができます。で、以上がですね、私が大学での勉強、生活、休暇の話になります。で、今までの生活で思うのは、もちろん課題の結果を見るときはちょっとスコアを見るときはドキドキするんですが、それ以外では、生活に不安を感じたりとか、心配を感じるっていうことがなくて、大学のスタッフの方もですし、教授の方もとっても距離感が近いんですね。なので、必要な時だとか質問があったりすると気軽にできたりするので、そういうところがちょっと本当に春大学選んでよかったなと思っています。以上です。ありがとうございました。
Claire, Kuniko-san has finished her presentation.
Hi. Yeah, so thank you so much for that, Kuniko. Just before you go, what would you say the best thing is about the University of Hull? Could you say what will be the thing that you would the one thing that if I said why come to Hull, what would you say?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking the best things in fall is maybe safe and secure, and I feel very close distance between the student and the staff and the professors, so it's very comfortable.
No, that's lovely. That's so nice to hear, because
Yeah.
I think I would say the same. I'd say that's why I work here. I think because we're all, it's a small village campus and we're all very close to each other, and we can all, you can knock on your lecturer's doors. That's really, really nice. No, thank you. I'm glad it's the same. I'm glad it's the same on your course as it is on ours. It shows it's across the whole university. No, thank you very, very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions?
We have a question. So,
はい、そうですね。
answer the question? Yes.
はい、ご質問を、Yeah, we have a question from one of the students today. And then, はい。ちょっと質問がですね、オンラインでも先生に相談できる機会がありますかということで、先ほど、対面とオンラインで、ハイブリッドでということで、おっしゃってたと思うんですけれども、実際オンラインの時でも、その先生に気軽にご質問ができるような環境っていうのはあるのかなっていうご質問なんですけれども。
そうですね。
はい。
オンラインの先生とそのラボの先生は一緒なので、ラボの時に聞くこともできますし、先生自体が、この時間だったら先生が、部屋にいるよっていう時間も公開してくれてるので、そのタイミングで行ったりだとか、今は Teams もあってですね、その Teams 内で先生に気軽に質問したりすることもできます。
ですね。なかなかオンラインでやるっていうのが想像がつきにくい方も結構いらっしゃると思うんですけど、今のお話聞くと、結構スムーズに質問とかもできるっていう感じで、はい、安心かなと思いますね。はい。あとは、結構よくある質問として、やはり修士課程行きたいっていう方が、結構日本でたくさんいらっしゃるんですけれども、なかなかやっぱり周りにその修士課程をしたことがある人がいないっていうので、どういった感じなのかっていうのがわからない方も多いんですけど、何かやっておいた方が良かったなっていうことが、今の現時点で何かあれば、例えば英語の勉強をもっと頑張っておけばよかったとか、なんかそういったちょっとアドバイスがありましたら。
そうですね。最初の1学期は結構大変でしたね。おっしゃられる通り、その英語の勉強をだんだん慣れてはくるんですけど、あと、なかなか恥ずかしくて最初の頃は質問ができなかったりとかですね、なんかそういうことがあったので、なんかもうなんて言うんでしょう、どんどんわからないことは聞こうっていうなんかそういう感じになっていくといい感じかなと、日本から行くときにすでに。
なるほどですね。やっぱりそうですよね。やっぱり IELTS の勉強とか英語の勉強とか、すごくもうできるだけ日本でやっておくっていうのが結構大事になってくるところではありますよね。
その規定のスコアを取ればよしってなんか思ってましたけど、なんか引き続きちゃんとすごい勉強しておくべきだなと思いました。わ
かりました。いや、でもすごく大変参考になるので、はい、そういったことをですね、ちょっとこれからの生徒様にもちょっとお伝えしていけたらなとは思いますね。はい。Actually, I asked Kuniko about like, is it possible to talk with teachers online, and then what kind of things do you think you should have prepared before starting a course? And then and then she said it's very easy to communicate with teachers online, and then she said it's very important to study English before starting the course. So we talked about that kind of things. So
that's lovely. I mean, we're very open with the academics to support students the best we can, and I think we completely understand. As I sort of mentioned in the presentation, we have lots of international lecturers, so we're a very international business school and university, so we understand what it's like to be studying in a different country, in a different culture, and we do our best to support that. We have a wonderful international office that does the same as well, sort of externally from the academics, and we've got a significant amount of resources that allow you to be able to do things like extra study skills through the library. You can do a language as a passport. You can do study abroad. There's lots and lots of things on top of what you can do on your degree that will enable you to feel more confident in doing the work that you're doing. And I think, one thing I would say is I've worked across a few universities in the UK. Our study skills is the best I've seen. The support there is really, really good. You can do online workshops. You can meet on campus for workshops. There's incredible variety of guides that are online. You can meet for one-to-one support academically, and all those, I can see Nico agreeing, all of these, I think, make it better, give us that unique extra support that allows our students to shine, to be who they can be. Because speaking and studying in a second language must be incredible. I can speak one language badly, so I think the fact that studying in a second language is absolutely incredible.
Thank you very much.
そうですね。で、あともう一つ、そのライブラリーがやってる結構セッションっていうのもあって、私もたくさん参加したんですけど、例えばライティングの書き方とかですね、あとどうやって引用とかすればいいかとか、あとプレゼンテーションの作り方だとか、そういった基礎を教えてくれるような、そのコース以外のセッションっていうのも結構あって、で、そこに、もう無料で自由に参加することができるので、どうやったらいいかわからないときとかは、個別のセッションもあるんですけど、結構そういったワークショップにもどんどんオンラインとオンキャンパスとであるので、出ていくと、はい、よりいいかなと思います。そういった機会もあるので、ぜひどんどんチャレンジするっていうのがいいかなと思います。
なるほどですね。ありがとうございます。そうですね。そういったライティングの書き方とか、エッセイとか引用とかですね、わからない方もすごくたくさんいらっしゃると思うので、そういったものが無料で提供されているっていうのは、留学生にとっても非常に心強いサポートっていうことになりますね、本当に。はい。そうですね、先ほどクリア先生もおっしゃってた通り、ビジネススクールもすごくインターナショナルな環境ということで、いろんなリソースもあるし、今、東さんがおっしゃったような、そのライブラリーのサポートとかっていうのもいろいろあって、はい、そういったものをたくさん利用して、で、自信を持ってコースをなんていうんですかね、こなしていくというようなことができるっていうふうなこともおっしゃっていたので、不安を感じていらっしゃるとは思うんですけれども、始める前はですね、実際春大学、しっかりとしたサポート体制が整っているので、はい、本当にそういった環境の中でしっかり学習ができていけるんじゃないかなとは思いますね。はい、そうですね。ちなみに春の街とか環境っていうのは、先ほどちょっと始まる前に少しお話、すごく住みやすいっていうようなことをおっしゃっていたと思うんですけど、やっぱり街のサイズ感とか環境とかも住みやすいというところですかね。
そうですね。私はとっても住みやすいですね。ちょうどすごく都会すぎず、かといって、すごく田舎すぎず、街の中心部にはちゃんと買い物するところとかもあって、生活に困ることはないですけど、ちょっと違うエリアに行けば自然が豊かでっていう、とっても過ごしやすいかなと思います。
そうですね、ありがとうございます。はい。Yeah, we talked about the environment in whole. She said it's not too like a big city, but it's not too like small, so it's a very comfortable size. So yeah, and then it's got a lot of nature. So for her, it's quite
like, and it's so pretty. Great. I mean, East Yorkshire around is absolutely beautiful. We've got lots of places to walk. Lots of places to see, and I could see you've got Ripley Castle there on the slide. So there's so much to do, and it's your next door to countryside, so you can easily get out if you've had enough of the city And if you've had enough of sheep, you can go back into the city again. So it's a really brilliant place to be. It's a lovely place to live and work, actually. It's really helpful. And we've got some, we've got Siemens that have got a massive factory there. We've got a lot of investment coming into the region. So you can see that, particularly on the quayside, and particularly around the deep, which I saw the photograph of as well. It's really beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And then actually, we have another question about like internship. In Japan, we have a lot of students who want to do master's degree, and then after that, they, the graduate route visa started a couple of years ago. So a lot of students are hoping to get a job in the UK. So I think a lot of students are thinking like internship is a kind of important things to do. So is internship kind of guaranteed if they go to a kind of a postgraduate or undergraduate course, or do they have to look for?
So in terms of the undergraduate course, if you want to do a placement year, what you would do is in the second year, you would do an extra module that got you ready to go through that process. Now, we can't guarantee that you're going to get that job, but what we can do is throughout the degree, we can support your professional development. And in that extra module, I was talking about employers coming in and interviewing you, your CV getting checked. You've got a considerable amount of support enabling students to be applying for those jobs. And we have got a really, really good success rate. If you don't get the job that you want, you apply for another one, you get the feedback. And I think that's something, that I really pride ourselves on. That's something that, we send the right students to the right companies. And I think that works well. In terms of visas and things like that, I think I'm going to have to divert to my lovely colleague, Callum, to help me with that one, because I'm not quite sure in terms of the visa, how that would work. Callum, would you be able to answer that question for me?
Of course. Hi, everybody. So I work with Claire, who works in the business school, and I work in the global engagement team at the university. Claire's absolutely right. For our undergraduate programs, everybody has that fantastic opportunity to undertake a paid internship during the third year of their study. What a lot of our undergraduate students do, and what a lot of our master's students also do, is work with our careers team to undertake a flexible internship alongside their studies. So a big difference between the education systems, perhaps in Japan and the UK, is that when you come to the UK, you'll actually find that you spend a lot less time in the classroom, and that there's a lot more emphasis put on independent research after your classes. And that's great, because it means you've actually got a little bit more free time than you might be used to back at home. So like I say, a lot of those students that we have at Hull choose to undertake part-time work or flexible internships in conjunction with our Student Futures team alongside their studies. Now, for those of you who want to make the best use of the graduate route, as it's been mentioned, of course, that's a fantastic opportunity to stay in the UK for 2 years after graduation. And during those 2 years, you can do a plethora of things, whether that's continuing to work part-time, securing a graduate job, or completing more internships. And that is absolutely something that we can help you with. Of course, it's never a guarantee to get an internship, but what I can guarantee is that you'd have access to a fantastic team of people that will work with you to understand what kind of work experience you want. And then they'll also go and work with local industries and regional businesses to match you together to help you secure that internship. So there's absolutely huge amounts of support available to you to find an internship, both during your studies and afterwards as well. So you can make the most of the graduate route visa as well. So I hope that helps. I think a key theme here is that at Hull, you'll be very, very supported no matter what you want to do. There's always a lot of support available to students.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. Thank you. Hi.
No problem.
そうですね。インターンシップっていうような機会もあるんですけれども、もちろんちょっとこれは保証されているものではないということなんですが、そういったインターンシップを得るためのもうたくさんのサポートが春大学の方から提供されるっていうことですので、はい、そこはしっかりとですね、春のサポートをしっかり使っていただいて、いただけたらそういったチャンスもあるということのようですね。はい。あとグラジュエートビザと呼ばれる卒業後に就労ビザ2年間もらえる制度ですね。っていうものが、ありますので、そういったもののサポートっていうのもありますし、あとはイギリスが自主的に勉強していくっていうような、なんていうんですかね、スタイルというか、そういう学生のその勉強スタイルっていうものがあるので、そこでパートタイムジョブ、アルバイトをしてみたりとか、っていうようなことも可能っていうことがあるので、はい。そういった行動をしていくっていうのもありますし、もちろんその春大学のサポートをしっかり使って、いろんな機会を得ていくっていうことが、可能ということになりますね。はい。はい。もう一つちょっとご質問いただいております。We have another question. How many Japanese students do you have in the business school?
Okay, so at the moment, because of COVID and because of restricted travel, students are studying from home, but we do have big summer groups that come over, or we plan to come over, and we also have the wonderful Satomi, who is a member of staff, who is brilliant and will be there to welcome you when you come. But yeah, we expect to. When we can have that travel back again. And I think this is really important. It's sort of a strange couple of years for universities. Even if students are studying at home or haven't been able to get here, we have been really, really supportive for those students to be able to enable them to continue their study. And they get checked in regularly if they aren't able to arrive in the UK for whatever reason. I hope that's answered your question, but it's not fair for me to answer on, and it's not a normal year, but we expect to, as we have had.
ありがとうございます。そうですね。近年のそのコロナの影響とかで、そのイギリスから離れてですね、勉強しているような方もいらっしゃるというような状況ですので、ちょっとこういった違った状況で、状況もちょっと変わっていくっていうようなところにありますね。ただこれから生徒様が来るっていうような予想もあるということですし、サマースクールとかもあったりするということなので、はい、ちょっとそういった回答になりますね。はい。ありがとうございます。はい。そうですね。We have another question about application. So we actually recommend students to apply as soon as possible, but by when do you recommend to apply for either undergraduate or postgraduate? Do you recommend to apply as soon as possible, or do you have time that applications become full?
I would say Callum is probably going to be the best to answer this question. In terms of me thinking to do it as soon as possible, I don't think that's necessarily the case. Obviously, it would be easier because SI UK have the relationship built with us that they can help with that process. But I'm going to leave Callum to answer that properly because that's out of my knowledge. So I'll bear with me a moment.
Perfect. So I think particularly here, I'll speak about postgraduate applications. And just to give you some context about this, as Claire's mentioned, actually for the fall 2022, so September 2022 intake of our PGT applicants for the business school, places are actually full right now. So we're experiencing exceptionally high demand. And there's a number of reasons for that. One of the reasons, something that students may know or may not know, is that for the past year, we were actually one of the first, I believe the only university in the UK that in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and in response to the fact that we know many families and many potential students may have experienced financial hardship, we've actually matched makes a huge difference. So you can imagine this has sparked a frenzy around the world, and we've had such a growth in our application. So this year, as I've said, for the fall 2022 intake, programs are full. And for the business school, they became full around Christmas time. So if you're planning or considering applying to the University of Hull through SI UK Japan for the 2023 intake, I would absolutely say get your applications in before December time. There's no harm in submitting an application. We don't currently have any application fees, so you don't need to pay any money to make an application, and it can really help secure your spot early on. So that's my advice for next year. Of course, to anybody in the audience, we really encourage you to make the most of the expert advice that our colleagues at SI UK Japan have. But my personal advice, especially for PGT, for master's courses, is get an application in before December that precedes a year that you want to come. There's no harm in applying early. It can be the difference between you getting on the program or sadly missing out on a place.
Thank you very much for the information. はい。いつまでに出願した方がいいかっていうご質問だったんですけれども、実際ビジネススクールについては、もう12月の時点でコースがいっぱいになっていたということですので、かなり早い段階でコースの枠いっぱいになっていたようです。はい。で、そうですね。なので、春大学っていうのが学費がイギリス人の学費とインターナショナルの学費が一緒ということで、非常にリーズナブルな費設定になっているので、そういったあとは他の世界情勢とかも合わさってですね、非常に多くの問い合わせが来たんじゃないかっていうようなことなんですけれども、はい。それも一つの大きな春の大学の魅力かなと思うんですけれども、はい。なので、2023年9月留学をお考えの場合は、もうできる限り早くですね、出願していくということが大事になってくるかなと思いますね。出願料とかも特にかかるというわけではないので、もう早めに出願をしていくということが大事になってきますね。はい。それではですね、もうこれ以上ちょっと質問がございませんので、お時間も来てしまいましたので、本日のですね、ウェビナーを終了させていただきたいと思います。はい。Thank you very much for your time, Claire, Azuma-san, and then Com. It was very informative and then really great presentation today. So I hope
thank you very much.
Thank
can
you.
I take an opportunity to thank you for our wonderful partnership that we've developed, and I thoroughly recommend utilizing SI UK Japan's experience and knowledge to answer those questions that probably you were maybe too scared to ask or haven't thought of yet. So please do that, and also to our phenomenal student Kaniko for giving us a real understanding of your experience studying at Hull. So thank you very, very much from us to you for this webinar.
Thank you very much. はい。そうですね。またご質問等ありましたら、弊社の方にご連絡いただけたらと思いますので、またカラムさんだったり、クリアさんだったり、あと東さんですね、何かこちらの方から問い合わせとかですね、させていただくことがあるかもしれないんですけれども、はい。よろしくお願いします。はい。それではですね、本日はお忙しい中ご参加いただきましてありがとうございました。東さんもお忙しいところご参加いただきましてありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。はい。
それでは、失礼いたします。Thank you very much.
はい。ありがとうございます。失礼します。
失礼します。